Hello and you're very welcome to this video in our series on Unit 4 for Leaving Certificate Business. And in this video today we're going to be continuing on at ratios and looking at profitability ratios, and today we're going to look at the net profit ratio, net profit margin, net profit ratio. So we're going to look at the formula for the net profit margin and how to calculate the net profit margin, and of course analyse the trends with net profit margins. So as we said, it's profitability ratio, and the formula is quite simply net profit over sales multiplied by 100 over 1. So it's the exact same formula as our gross profit margin. The only difference is instead of gross profit, it's now net profit up on top. Okay, both are over sales multiplied by 100. Okay, so in this example, we've got sales of 400,000 and net profit of 40,000. Now, let's take a moment and you have to calculate the net profit margin. Now, let's take a moment to think about what net profit means. What gross profit meant. So gross profit was our sales after cost of sales were taken away, and our cost of sales was basically the cost of our stock and the cost that we currently have and any purchase of raw materials that we've made. When we get to net profit, which gross profit take away our expenses. Now our business expenses are things like light and heat, wages, insurance, the different things the business has to spend money on to operate, also known as our fixed and variable costs. But we look at that later in Unit 5. So and then when we take them away from our gross profit, then we get our net profit. So remember the idea of gross pay is before deductions and net pay is after deductions? Kind of the same idea as well here. So gross profit is our profit before we take away the costs of running the business, and net profit is our profit after that. So in this question here, we have sales of 400,000 and a net profit of 40,000. How do we do that? Well, we have our formula of net profit multiplied over sales by 100, and we put our formula into that, our figures into the formula. So 40,000 over 400,000 multiplied by 100 over 1 gives me 10%. So, can anyone think what the 10% might mean? Remember what we learned about a gross profit margin meant, what the percentage of gross profit margin meant. So, it tells us how much net profit was made for every €1 of sales. So in this question, it meant that for every euro of sales meant 10 cents of that was net profit. Obviously enough, because it's profitability and firms want to be profitable, the higher the percentage is better. This is a better ratio than our gross profit margin as it takes expenses into account. It's a key thing to remember, okay? Same ideas with our gross profit margin. We analyse this and compare to the trend of last year's figures, okay? So a very similar idea. If it's increased from the previous years, it's a good trend. And how have they done this? Well, the company may have reduced the cost of their expenses. Whereas if the net profit margin has decreased from the previous year, that's a bad trend. It could be a case that expenses are costing more and may need to be reviewed because company might have to make cutbacks, etc. Okay, so folks, that brings us to the end of the video. We've learned what the net profit margin formula is. You can calculate the net profit margin, you know what the net profit margin is, and you can analyse the trend of net profit margin. If any questions, ask below in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. And of course, please subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks very much for watching. Bye now.